I don't have to rub it in, but I've got myself a comfy chair now.
Nice.
Like,
I mean,
priority.
I bring a chair everywhere, so I'm with you on that one.
Dude, Gab, you're the fucking Terminator, I swear.
I'm a
Like,
transformer.
it's Transformer, that's the badger. That's the badger. I mean, I was so impressed by that. I
It's
loved
my
that.
party trick. I do it everywhere.
Yeah, until he gets the stairs.
Yeah. I wish I could levitate. You know, like the Dalek in Doctor Who. I wish it could do stairs.
Leviosa. It's not Leviosa. I can do Harry Potter references. Not a. I was about to say I'm not nerdy enough for Doctor Who, but I love
No,
Warhammer.
you're
I love.
definitely nerdy enough.
Yeah, I think I am as well. To be honest, like skulls and shit in the background. Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of Sit Down for Stand Up. I have with me, and I. We can't see the wheelchair, so your name's not going to mean shit to people, is it?
I can rock back and forth.
There
There you go.
we...
People can kind of see it.
Okay, we have Gabby and I shit you not, surname Rolls. Brilliant
That is
comedian. Huh?
that is genuinely my surname. People think it's a stage name, but it's genuine.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say it's the surname, so they could have even changed it, couldn't they? Like,
And I'll have you know now, when I get married, I'm not taking the other person's surname. This is staying.
unless he's also in a wheelchair.
I mean, yeah, that could work.
Yeah. I mean, is there like disabled dating apps?
I haven't found a specific one, but the people I match with on the regular dating apps do tend to be disabled, so I think it's a thing.
Okay, fair. I mean, I'm so bad on the dating apps. I'm being a guy on dating apps. One, I'm ugly. Two, it's hard out here on the dating apps for guys. I am. I think in the last month I've been paired up with one person. She had really bad cerebral palsy, and I said hello, and then she just like removed me.
Oh, nice to see you again, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So I thought I'd get you on my podcast and force a date out of it. Bang on, Gav.
Absolutely. This is the longest time you'll get to spend with me. How about that?
I've already got my candle lit and everything, so bang on the ambiance and away we go. Gabby, dude, it's your story. I said I'm going to call you Gab, not Gabby. Gab, it's your story. Is like how you got into comedy is for like newer comedians sort of learn the ropes and hopefully learn something new. So I'll bang it straight from the beginning. How and why did we get into comedy?
So I've been a huge comedy fan ever since I can remember, really. Because we've always really used kind of humor as a coping mechanism. So for as long as I can remember, we've always just been the family that laughs at stupid stuff. So really, as soon as I got old enough, I knew I wanted to see comedy live because I grew up on kind of sitcoms, and then when I could, I started watching the satirical stuff. My parents were quite careful that it was all age appropriate, but I think the first time I saw Live at the Apollo and Mock the Week, I was sold. I was like, okay, this is so cool. And then my first gig that I ever saw was I was 14 and it was Ivo Graham. And
Okay.
he is just one of the masters of the craft. And I was
Yeah.
like, I want to do that. But I never really kind of thought about it further up until I went to uni and I joined my uni's comedy society.
Okay.
And I originally joined it as a comedy fan because it was for performers, but it was also for enthusiasts. And I never went in with the intention of performing, but we had like workshops in our classrooms, and slowly but surely I thought, quite funny. Maybe I'll give it a go and see if people laugh. And they did. And then they badgered me and they said, look, we have a gig after Christmas. No one's going to be there because everyone's going to be bored.
Yeah.
So do you want to do it and just do 5 minutes? And if you hate it, you never have to do it again. And I caught the bug. I never
Straight
looked
away,
back.
yeah. Straight away, caught the bug.
Absolutely. So I think from then on, the society did like 2 gigs a month. So I think straight away I'd done like 10 gigs in my first couple of months. It was brilliant.
Okay, and what did they all go well, or was it like mixed reviews?
No, like, I mean, I'm biased. I feel like they went well. I certainly didn't bomb, but I
Yeah.
think I was still figuring out like my delivery. I get quite nervous. So if I'm nervous because of my cerebral palsy, my voice tightens up. So if you
Right.
watch some of my first videos, my voice is about 2 octaves higher,
Oh, I'm gonna
whereas
do. I'm
now
gonna.
I've
I'm
kind of
gonna.
calmed down.
I need
My
to do
delivery
that.
is a lot smoother.
I want to watch Amateur Gabby. Can't lie. Because I saw you what 3 weeks ago, and you fucking killed it, dude. Like
Oh, thank
it
you.
was a tough room. I bombed, but you smashed it. Like
Oh, thank you.
so,
I
like
feel like it's a thing though. Maybe disabled comics don't bomb. I feel like people still pity us. I'm almost waiting for the bomb where I'm like, yeah, you people know where it's at with comedy. If I'm shit, tell me I'm shit.
no. See, I am the antichrist for that. And okay, I'm going straight down this rabbit hole already. Then sod it. So look, I'm to me, funny is funny. Okay, don't care who it is, what skin, disability, whatever. Kill Tony shows that funny is funny. There's some great disabled comedians on who are funny. Now I give Rosie Jones a little bit of hate. Can't lie, because I don't find her funny, but she relies heavily on being disabled. You are a funny comedian who is disabled. Do you know what I mean? There's a difference.
Yeah,
But I find you funny,
thank you.
and you don't let that
What
get
you're
in the
saying,
way.
I feel like it's nuanced because I feel like sometimes I feel like people look at me and they're like, "Oh God, this is going to be a car crash," and then I end up doing my
That already
first
happened.
joke. Well, yeah, quite. But it's like they look at me and it's like, "Oh God, how's this going to go?" And then when I tell my first joke, which usually gets a laugh, it is kind of a banker of mine. Then they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, she actually is funny," and like we don't have to like pity laugh. We can actually laugh
Yes.
properly.
Shit, because I actually never realised you're aware of this. Like
Well,
you're
yeah.
aware, like I'm gonna. They might give me a pity laugh. Look, let's fucking prove them wrong straight out the bat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see people's asses clench when they announce me and I go on stage. Like the minute they see the chair, you can kind of see their face drop. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, there's a disabled one, and it's actually like, no, no, you'll see why I'm here in a minute. I'm gonna make you laugh.
No, they're doing that because you're a woman, not because you're disabled.
Probably, yeah, because women aren't funny, right? I've
Apparently
got two
so.
minorities.
Oh, do you know what? I've been getting hate on people lately. Like, I'm starting to see why, to be honest. But so you start off with that. Joe, I won't say the uni you went to, but comedians be able to fish it out by me saying it's the only place in the UK where you can do a masters in comedy.
Well, you say that you can't anymore because I was going to, and they cancelled it basically the year after I started, which
That's
sucks.
bullshit.
But we have a lot of comedian alumni, which was awesome for the society because then when they would come back and do a tour, we could do like Q&As and meet and greets. So there's very much still a comedy kind of heritage there. So it was a pretty cool uni for me to go to as a bit of a comedy enthusiast.
Yeah, I mean, I got into comedy at the age of 33, but I don't know if my uni had any of that. But I guess it is cool because it's all like I'm not saying it's a safe place to push you into it, but like, do you know what I mean? You can bomb.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it was really encouraging because as I say, we got to try our stuff in kind of the seminar and the workshop spaces before we would then do it at a gig. So
Yeah,
quite often we would almost be, I don't know, there'd be like eight performers in the seminar space and we'd all be kind of flinging stuff off each other. And
yeah,
we could be honest and tell each other when that was shit, or we could top and tail and add stuff. And that was the beauty of it, because I think that's where I struggle as a performer almost. It's like I've got really solid stuff, so I'm
yeah,
I'm starting to build up to tens and fifteens.
yeah,
But just keep having that grind of like writing material. Now I've graduated uni, I still have comic friends, but I have nowhere really to kind of try it out beforehand. I just have to go to an open mic and hope it lands.
yeah. And there's a lot of stairs at open mics.
Oh, don't. I mean, I feel like London, it's just basement or attic, and
Yeah,
there's like no
it
in
is.
between. And like some of them, they're just like, oh yeah, but we can carry you. And it's like, mate, my chair weighs 110 kilograms, and I
Yeah.
weigh about another 90. So unless you can bench 200 kilograms, it's not happening.
Okay, like, so carrying up the stairs, what goes first, you or the chair? Like, that's not a chair. That's fucking AI machine Terminator shit.
I know.
Like,
It's
but I guess
because
people.
people forget it has a battery. So it's like it's not just like one of these chairs that you see elderly people in where they're getting pushed around. This one has like mechanics to it. It's
Yeah.
it's not simple. You can't just pop it down and pop it back up again. It's got bulk.
I mean, what rooms are like? I was gonna say rock up. I was gonna say roll up because I'm already in hell. So I'm going to die on this
Go
fucking
for it.
hill. Every single disabled joke is coming out tonight, just so we know, Gab.
Do it.
You know,
I mean, my surname is Rolls, so I
it's
literally
Rolls.
walk into that.
Yeah, so I was going to say Mrs. Rolls. Mrs. Bit real quiet, okay? Mrs. Rolls. So, where is like good in London, like that is flat surface?
I mean, to be honest, you mostly have to look for disabled centric nights because they kind of know the challenges that you come up against. So, very early on, when I was kind of serious about comedy, kind of must have been my first full year of doing stand up. I went to the Edinburgh Fringe just
Yeah,
to
go on.
watch, and I very much focused on finding good disabled comedians to watch.
Yeah,
And two people that I came across were the Blue Badge Bunch, which is made up of the lovely Benny Shakes and the wonderful Mark Nicholas.
yes.
So Benny Shakes runs a group of nights called Disabled Can'ts, which is one of the
Disabled.
best puns I've ever come across.
Disabled what?
And Disabled Can'ts with an A, not a U. You have to be very careful when you say that. And the other one
Yeah,
that
when the
Mark
stutter
Nicholas
kicks in,
runs,
you know.
say again.
When the stutter kicks in, you know.
Oh no, I know. You have to be really careful. And the brilliant thing is, Benny, if you don't know him, has a bit of a speech impediment, so it's even better when he says it. And I think he's done that deliberately. He's a legend.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that is proper playing the game a bit, isn't it? That's
Oh,
owned up to.
absolutely.
But like,
And then
do you find like in comedy, like people do walk on eggshells a little bit? And it's like, dude, I'm a fucking dude. Like, banter with me, like, do you know what I mean? Like, slap me like you'd slap anyone else.
exactly, and I feel like it's a really weird thing in comedy spaces because, you know, we're there to be laughed at and hopefully with as well. But like, I'm there to perform. If I'm on a bill, I expect people to laugh, and it's
Yeah.
like people are like, "Oh, can we laugh at that?" And I'm like, "Yes, that's what I'm here to do." Like, I'd be sad if you didn't laugh, and it's just a weird thing where people. I don't know. The best way I can describe it is the asshole clench. And it's like, well, you relax. I'm just a person. Just because
Yeah.
I'm on wheels, like chill your beans.
Yeah. No, I gotta be honest. I've been guilty of that in the past until you get to a point when you realize you're just as fucked as everyone else, and
Yeah.
then
I mean, this is the thing. I'm literally not different to anyone else. I eat junk food. I swear. I'm struggling with dating. I hate my job. You know, all of these things. It's like we're literally not any different. We literally we're just normal. You
yeah,
know, I can't explain why people suddenly look at me like I'm an alien. Like, unless it's because they've never seen someone sat down who moves, but
yeah.
it's
No,
not that weird.
the way look, I don't know. Like, tell me if I'm wrong here. The way I see it, and this is why I do not believe in punching down. My theory on punching down is that you are saying that demographic needs help. So
Mm,
either if you fire shots at anyone, you can fire shots at anything, and
yeah,
let the audience decide. The fact that you say, "Oh no, we can't joke about this, can't joke about that," why?
yeah.
Let people decide if it's funny or not.
Yeah, but it is a really weird one because I totally agree with you. I'm up for anyone saying what they want to say, but there are some comedians where I'll be on the same bill as them and they'll make a really dodgy disabled joke. Like I had one the other day where somebody made a really offhand joke about being like a special needs kid and they used the R word and it was like, dude, I'm
Yeah,
right
that's
here.
just.
Like
Did you like my one?
yeah, yours was fine because also like we'd had a little bit of a chat about
Yeah,
it, so I
but it
kind
was
of
the
knew it
twin
was
one, wasn't
coming.
it? Because I never knew you because you're a
Yeah,
twin, aren't you? And
yeah.
I don't know if you had to say it was. Oh, like what was like how long ago? No, what was it? It was how like what was the difference in the birth rates? Bearing in mind a chair had to come with yours also. I was so proud of that. Like
It's good. See, this is the thing where everyone's in on the joke and there's no harm in it.
yeah,
That's fine. Whereas, when you're suddenly talking about being special needs or using the R words, that's
yeah,
then infantilizing, and that's where it gets into dodgy territory because you're not laughing at the ridiculous situation of giving birth to a chair. You're laughing and mocking someone for having a certain intellectual kind of state and just why? Just be more creative. You don't need to mock people.
yeah. I agree on that. I also think it works both ways. There's the ones I think that is as offensive as people being over pious.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Like,
I mean, there's a thing in the disabled community of inspiration porn where it's like, oh my God, you're so amazing.
oh,
And it's like,
can I write a
I'm just
sonnet on your
existing.
behalf? We need a poster. Can I put you on the front? Like, no, fuck off. Like,
I
it.
can't tell you how many times I've been the poster girl for various initiatives. Like I was a student ambassador for my uni. So again, this is going to give it away, but
You
I
got a
swear,
bird.
yeah, I mean, it's like, anytime you look at the disabled accommodation or student support and well-being, bloody face is on there because that was the only disabled person they could find with a visible disability. It's like, thanks, that's what I want to be used for, sure.
Oh god, I knew I was gonna love this one. I mean, like, what other like? I don't even know the word. You broke me a little bit here. Like, what other like shit situations do we have to deal with?
Oh, I mean, what do you mean in my comedic life or my personal life? Because they're two
Comedy
very
life, dude.
different
Comedy.
things.
Look, if you want to go personal, you can, but I try and keep this all about comedy.
Okay, I
Uh,
mean, personal life, I'm probably going to write a book one day about the various shits that I have to go through. My mum at one point was very much considering a sitcom with the various shits that I've had to deal with for the first 21 years of my life. If I write that sitcom, I'm fairly sure it'll win a BAFTA.
nice.
But in
Who,
terms of
who's gonna play you?
comedy, ooh, that's a really good question. I mean, then you get into the dodgy territory of do you get an able-bodied actress to play me, or do you get a disabled person?
Oh, would a disabled person cost less?
No, because do you know actually, there's a thing called the purple pound. We actually spend 900 extra pounds a month on the various stuff. So like charging
You
my
robbing
wheelchair,
bastard. Ugh.
I know, charging my wheelchair is bloody expensive.
I've
It's
got an
like having
electric
an
car, dude,
electric
and
car.
they're a fucking rip-off. Like,
They're such a rip-off.
my electric car can go 80 miles at a time.
That's rubbish. Mine can go about 20.
Yeah, but okay, but fine. Okay, fair enough. I'll accept that
But
one.
But in terms of my comedic struggles, obviously you have the thing of being, the only woman on the bill, but obviously I've got it kind of twofold where quite often I'm the only disabled person on the bill, and sometimes I'm the only visibly disabled person because obviously you have a lot of people with ADHD and autism or mental
Oh,
health, which what do you mean, it's a good thing. People are
no,
being
no, it
open
is.
about it.
No, it is. But one of my pet peeves, honestly, because I have ADHD. That's why you
Mm.
all like you saw. I cannot sit still. I'll smoke like a chimney on these episodes because I get fidgety. I do. I hate it when a comedian starts their bit with ADHD autistic. That's their open.
Yeah.
That is a pet peeve of mine. When get a laugh and then you can say it on your second line.
Yeah.
But when it's on their first line, imagine you're on the bill and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm disabled. I have ADHD." You must be like, dude, fuck off. Like, come on.
I mean, I think in some ways having a visible disability in some ways one ups it. It's a bit like
Winning.
disabled top trumps, like diversity.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going long, but I think you're. I mean, I must have gigged with a lot of autistic people, but no, I think you are the first disabled one I've gigged with.
Oh, cool. I mean, I think that's a really interesting thing because, aside from the likes of Benny Shakes who has cerebral palsy and there's a couple of other great ones. Jamie Green's a wheelchair user and people like that. But again, I've not really met any other grassroots disabled comics and
Hardest
unless
roll
they've
on.
got an invisible. Yeah, exactly. Because even the likes of Lizzie Lenko, I don't know if you're familiar with
Yeah.
her work.
Yes.
She made the decision to retire after this year's Fringe because of the inaccessibility problems. So
Yeah.
it's really hard to find people starting out. You mentioned Rosie Jones, and there's obviously people like Tim Renko and Adam Hills, but they've
Yeah.
already made it. And it's just like, how do you get from where I am now to where they are?
I mean, you could say that about any comedian's journey, couldn't you?
Yeah, but what
Uh,
I mean is that there's such an inaccessibility problem because the way I see it is almost like there's two routes into comedy. So one is you gig your butt off and you make a name for yourself. But
Yeah.
we spoke before about it being basements, attics, having to be
Yeah.
carried, and then who knows if it will work. Not to mention the issue with transport. I'm very lucky that I have a medical team who will drive me as well. That's one of the requirements of my team. But
Yeah.
then the other thing is the competitions, and again, they're not accessible.
No, no, very true. But I would also say, speaking of a lot of people, things like the fringe and stuff, there is also a money barrier.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's costly, dude. It's costly to be gigging like two, three times a week. Not only time consuming, but like if you wanted to go put on a fringe, say for a month, how can you take a month off work? Salary,
You literally
property and
can't.
rent in Edinburgh for a month, shit like that. Do you know what I mean? It's hard. Everyone's got to
I,
sort of
I
find
went
their own
I
way.
went for a week just to watch, and even that, like the accessible room
Yeah,
plus the room for my PA, because thankfully hotels have a system now where if you need medical staff, you can get their room for free. But if you think about it, that's still two lots of meals, two lots
yeah,
of drinks,
yeah,
you know, two lots of everything. And suddenly, even for a week, it was a lot. That was my only holiday this year, and it was very much worth it. But
yeah.
like you say, if I wanted to do that myself, because I think I gigged once a day for the 5 days that I was up there, because a couple of friends gave me spots, but there's no way I could do my own show at this point in time. It just wouldn't be viable, even if I wanted to.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, where in London can you gig?
So I'm
Do you have like a
trying to
list,
figure it out.
like an Excel sheet?
Yeah, so I've got what I call, so I've got a Google form. It's kind of twofold. So I've
Yeah,
got a Google form where
yeah.
I'm literally trying to do an audit of the different venues. So even if I come across one which isn't accessible, I'll still get them to fill it in. So it's like I still know that that's not an accessible one. Because my dream is to eventually have like a website where people can then filter by their needs. But
That's
for
awesome.
myself, thank you. But for myself, I literally have a note on my phone and I just keep a list of all of the gigs I've come across or have managed to do
Yeah,
that are accessible. So, again, because of where I'm based, there are a few in South London. There are some still in Kent. Like I still go back to where I went to uni,
yeah.
because the scene quite there is quite strong and it's pretty accessible. So, but it's just trying to find it. Like I use the app GigGag, but at the moment, they don't filter by accessibility. So I have to send emails, and 9 times out of 10, they say, oh, yeah, it's upstairs.
Not gonna lie though, if you have a med team, you've always got a bringer.
That's true. That is true. But to be honest, the amount of paperwork they would have to fill in, it's not safe. The one thing I have done, though, I found a ramp in my shed. So I now bring a ramp with me
Brilliant.
everywhere. So as long
Portable
as there
ramp.
aren't too many stairs, I can
Better
at
than a
least get over
slingshot.
like a lip.
I'm trying to think of everywhere I've gigged and where's there are a lot of stairs in London.
I know, because I ask pretty much every new comedian I meet. I'm like, "Oh, cool! It's really nice to meet you. Do you know anywhere accessible?" It's like I'm quizzing them the minute I meet them.
Yeah, dark, dirty basements. Even that, like comedy store stairs, top secrets. Oh, Big Belly,
I haven't done that one.
Big Belly Gong Show. No
There you go.
stairs.
I think up the creek as well. They said might be accessible because I'm quite near
No
to Greenwich,
stairs.
being a Bromley
Stairs.
girl. So,
There's stairs.
oh, there is. Oh,
Two
poo.
entry
Whoever
points.
told me that, I'm gonna oust them.
Yeah, no, it's two entry points, both upstairs, and it's a really high stage with stairs.
Oh, brilliant! Sounds perfect for me.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, you can do crowd work amongst the crowd, but I don't know how you'd get to the
You
crowd.
know what? You say that half joking. I've had to do that before because quite often venues are accessible, as in to get in, but the stages aren't. And I'm at the point in kind of me trying to scout out venues where I'm like, that's not actually a deal breaker. Like that's how low the bar is, where I'm like,
Yeah,
as long as I can get into the room where the crowd is, I don't actually care where I perform. And in some ways, I kind of work that to my
that's
advantage because
awesome.
I'm able to kind of play off it and turn that into a joke in itself. But I should be put in that situation. Like when I actually deep it and when I'm having like a sad disability day, it's fucking shit.
Is there a particular day that kicks in? It's like a Monday morning, Sunday evening.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it happens when I'm the most tired or when I'm the most in pain because my
Yeah.
conditions are chronic. So I never really know when it's gonna pop up.
It
But
hits you out of
like
nowhere.
like you say, it's kind of the Sunday blues. That's because
Yeah.
that's kind of when, I've been going all week, and Sunday is usually my quietest day. So that's when my body is like, oh, we remember we're disabled today, and then it really hurts.
Well, I'll say that any comedians out there in the comment section, if you do know a room in the UK that is wheelchair accessible or is accessible with a baby ramp, please drop it in the comments, guys.
Or if you're not accessible but you want to fill out my audit, drop me a DM because I'll send you the Google form link because I'm really serious about getting that website up. I'd love it. I
Dude,
want to
I can
trade.
build websites. So if you ever need help with that, let me know. I can
Oh, well,
build
there you go.
websites
Well,
quite easily.
I'll give you this for free. The domain name that I want to have is called disability.com.
I like that. Okay, what? Okay, I'm trying to think of a better one.
You can't. That's my
No.
job. I'm good with puns.
Mm.
There's a reason my @ on Instagram is @cerebral Like that is the best
No,
pun
yeah.
I've
So
ever come up with in my career.
I mean, like, I only started the podcast because I just thought sit down for stand up, and I was like, that's obviously going to be taken, and it wasn't taken. So I was like, right,
Oh
cool.
my gosh, what?
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it's like, right, history writes, your future writes itself. Still trying to think of one. Um, no, all I can think of is laugh at my disability, but that's awful. That's
I
horrible.
was going to mention earlier because I mentioned Benny Shakes. Mark Nicholas, the night he runs in London, which is very accessible, is called Laugh Able instead of Laughable.
Brilliant. Uh,
So good.
I'm usually so good at these.
You'll think of one like 2 hours later when you're about to go to bed.
Gab, I'll tell you now, I am the best in the world at hindsight. 2 hours after a gig, I'll think of a good comeback. I'll be like, I can't drive back, can I? Like, can I find out the audience members' details so I can text it to them? I am so bad at that, to be honest. Like, oh, okay, I've got a cool one. So, obviously, like I spoke to you before, like we were going to go heavily down the disabled route. What do you feel like it has to be part of your material? Like, would it be weird if you just went up there and did not jokes?
Think it would be weird, but I think it's something I'm finding really difficult. Like, because I feel like it's very naturally part of me for obvious reasons. So I feel like whenever I try and almost separate myself from the disability, I naturally gravitate back towards it. Like, I kind of find that all the material I write ends up being disabled centric in some way because that's where the funny is. So it's not like I'm saying I absolutely have to talk about my disability,
No.
but it comes more naturally to me than doing something that's non-disabled.
But if I remember, you're a bit of a dirty bird as well, aren't you?
Only because the situation arises. So it's things like my wheelchair
Like, what
brand is
what what
literally called
arises?
Quickie.
What arises?
The
Oh,
situation,
sorry,
thank you very
sorry,
much.
sorry, sorry, Gab. Yeah, yeah.
So, it happens because I think as well, people see me. I'm 4'10". I'm quite small. I'm in a
7 foot when
chair.
it's on full.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like people see me and they don't know what to expect, and then I'll come out with a bit of a zinger or something a bit risque, and they're like, "Whoa, where did that come from?" And I love that feeling of surprising people.
Yeah. Well, you did that quite early on, didn't you? Like you set the tone almost.
I think I try to because also it's about breaking the tension, a bit like what I said before, where you kind of see people clench. I feel like if I'm able to give people a bit of a zinger where they're like, "Oh, she knows how to kind of be funny and be a bit normal," it's
Yeah,
like they'll relax a bit because it's like, thankfully this hasn't happened to me because again, I'm very new into dating, but a lot of disabled friends have had like the question of can you have sex? And it's like how is that a thing? Like we're
yeah,
adults. We're not children just because we're
yeah,
in chairs.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was trying to think of a joke. Was it? But- no, I'm not. I'm not.
Go on.
Easier to grape. But no,
Thanks. Thanks for that.
dude, it's the ADHD filter. I can't
You
stop.
can't use that. You're still going to be cancelled anyway, ADHD or not.
I don't care at this point, to be honest, Gav. Funny is funny, and I would make the joke to anyone and everyone. So, like, I think it'd be rude if I didn't say the joke personally.
No, absolutely. And this is the thing. I love actually the banter between comics,
Yeah,
and thankfully the comics I've met so far, they're not weird around me, which is good because I feel like they know why I'm there. But I
yeah,
feel like it's the general public, because I feel like once you get to know me, I can give it back just as good as I get it. But
a
the
million percent.
public are afraid to open that door.
Is it because there's something they don't know about, so they're not aware of it? Where if you're a comic talking to another comic, we already know if I've never spoken to you, but I know you're a comic, I know you've got skin in the game. I know you shouldn't be sensitive. You should always be up for a laugh.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
I
it'll
guess so.
chew you
I
out.
can see that. But like it is 2025. Like why are people still being quite so weird about disability? Like I would get it if I had some one in a million syndrome that people knew nothing about. But cerebral palsy is one
Like
of the
being
most
ginger.
common condition. Well, yeah, exactly, being
Yeah,
ginger or being autistic now. All of those are quite common, and it's like why is it still a thing? Like I'm not asking them to know the ins and outs of my condition, but you should know wheelchair user is still human. Like
yeah.
I don't even get
You
the
can still
brain
get
logic.
shagged. Like I think that's what you want people to know, isn't it, Gav? Isn't it? That's the message we want to take away from this.
Said it like that, but sure, if that's your takeaway from this, why
Yeah,
not?
the title's going to be called "Horny Gabby Rolls."
Thanks. In fact, that's really the persona I want to go for here.
Yeah, I don't
Sure.
care. Okay, like, I'm going to spend about 6 hours editing that page. So, what do you want out of comedy?
That's a really good question, because I kind of
Thank
flip
you.
between two things. Like, obviously, the first thing is I just want to make people laugh. Like, it would be the best thing to be paid to make people laugh and make
Thank you.
people smile every day. Like, that is just the dream. And you have mates that you go to the pub with and they make you laugh and you feel so much better after it. So, if I can do that for people, that's such a nice thing. But
Yeah.
the second thing, I guess, is a bit more nuanced, and I guess it is a struggle that disabled comedians have, is that just by being there and having that platform, you are educating people. And I feel like that is such a privilege for me to be
Yeah.
able to do, because I don't have, the intellectual stuff going on. So I play a disability sport called boccia, and a lot
You
of the
what?
people I boccia, so it's very similar to bowls or petanque, but it's specifically for disabled people. But again, a lot of the people I
Bowls,
play.
like like French bowls, like the
Yeah,
bowls.
exactly that. So we just play from our wheelchairs, and we play with slightly different balls.
What
So
lighter?
they're made of rubber
Lighter
rather
balls.
than being, yeah. So they're just a bit easier for us to kind of throw them without kind of doing ourselves any damage. But again, a lot of the people I play there, they have intellectual disabilities, and that makes me really realize that I'm lucky to be able to articulate myself and say what disabled people are feeling.
Is that why they're made out of rubber?
Yeah, well, because you
I'm
never know
not.
who's
I'm
going
not
to
even
try.
hating on that. I'm just saying
No,
it's intellectual. Like if you got a proper bowls ball to the head,
oh
like
yeah,
that is knocking you
absolutely.
out.
I mean, some people are really powerful, and it's a thing where they'll catch on to your disability. So some of my opponents, they know that my arms are weak, and they'll chuck it to the back of the court, and then I've got to struggle to get it there. So it really is disabled top trumps. They will chuck it.
And I'm gonna be real here. I've never met a Down. I've never like sat down like I got to know a Down syndrome person, but I've heard there's a thing called Down syndrome strength,
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that one. So
like
they're
mad
they're
strong.
really they're really, really enthusiastic. So if they give you a hug, you're getting squeezed. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the same thing, if they're angry, they'll feel it. So they just feel all of their emotions in extremes. So
Okay.
they can be the happiest people you know, but they can also be the angriest people you know.
I'm trying to think of what sport it wouldn't matter if you was in a wheelchair or not.
Oh, boccia, it's specifically designed for disabled people.
Archery.
There is wheelchair archery,
Yeah.
there's wheelchair rugby, there's wheelchair basketball.
I know about them ones. Like I mean, like where it wouldn't make a difference on a universal level.
Oh,
Like poker, for example, it doesn't matter if you're in a wheelchair or not. I know that's not a sport. I'm just trying to think,
yeah.
is there any river rafting? All in the
Fairly
arm?
sure that would matter. The wheels would rust.
Yeah, you have wheels on your boat. It's land
Trying
and
to think
water.
now. You've got me curious.
Yeah.
Maybe fishing? Is fishing a sport?
People get very passionate about fishing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to think of any. But I mean, like, yeah, it's like the beautiful thing is that you're saying you want to make people laugh and you want to sort of spread the message, and the main thing's laughing. But if you can teach them along the way and they can take something with them, then that's beautiful.
Because a lot of my comedy is kind of poking fun at the random situations I get put into. And a lot
Yeah.
of it is because, clearly people haven't thought this through. So I have a whole routine about me going away with my dad, but then the only toilets being available were separated by gender. And it's like, if my dad is my primary carer and we're different genders, which toilet do you go into? And it's like,
Oh,
yes, that's objectively funny, but it's also making people think, oh, yeah, that is a crap situation.
but crap.
I didn't even think of that one.
I'm trying to think what would I rather. Right. If I had a disabled daughter, okay, when they was a kid, it would be the men's. When they was a full grown woman, it would have to be the woman's. But you'd just be like, look, dudes, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not in here just to say howdy ho to everyone.
Yeah, you're just there to help your person, and it's the same thing. But for me in that situation, I had to go in the men's because it was too small for my wheelchair. So my dad literally had to half carry me. So at that point, all I could do was just weld my eyes shut and hope I didn't see anything I wasn't supposed to see because I was 14 at the time.
Yeah, yeah, that's. And men's toilets aren't nice.
No. I mean, to be fair, disabled toilets, it's a 50-50. They're either pristine and the best toilets you can ever go into, or they're a nuclear war zone. Like either they've not been cleaned for about 10 years, or they're cleaned every 10 minutes. It's really a lottery.
I mean, I have a confession to make, Gab, and honestly,
Uh-oh.
and I need to get this off my chest. When I'm in the Weatherspoons, I do use the disabled toilet because I can't be asked for the stairs.
I mean, you are disabled, but it's probably not the disability it was intended for. Does ADHD affect your ability to go for a piss?
I couldn't be asked for the stairs, Gab. Can't gotta be honest. Gotta be honest. I know there's so much hate for that. I can't even look you in the eyes. I'm looking down when I
No, you
say
really
this.
can't, given that we're still separated by distance. But you're
Yeah.
like, next time I see you, I'm gonna find you and I'm gonna run you over. Is
You
that
run me
it?
over, shit. Okay, right.
I'll
I mean,
put you in a chair and then you can decide to use the disabled toilet. How about that?
okay. I think that'd be justified karma. To be honest, I like that. So they say like, right, right. So I'm still trying to think about wheelchair sports. I don't know why that sort of stuck on my head a little bit. Like, but it's mad that there's not many places in London that would offer it. I guess they don't advertise it either. But weirdly enough, in the summer they heavily advertise if they've got air conditioning or not.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we're accessible for you hot people, but not disabled.
Build an air fan on it. So I mean, besides that, I mean, suppose you've done any gun shows. You done any competitions?
Yeah, so when I first started, I did So You Think You're Funny, which I kind of regret now because I realized at the time that's a one and done competition. So you
Yeah.
do it once and then you're not eligible to do it again. And it was a really good experience and I was pleased with how it went, but there was no way I was ready for it because it was my first year. Whereas
Yeah.
I think now, or even if I went back to it in a couple of years, I would have had a better shot.
Well,
But the other
so like once you've done it once, you can never do it again.
yeah, it's just that's it. You've done it, so you're kind of there forever, I guess.
Hmm. Fair. Well, I always stand by the theory, like gong shows and stuff. I don't think you should be allowed to do them after you've been in the game for 3 years.
Really? How
Yeah,
come?
because I feel like they're a good way for an open mic comedian to play in front of a semi-busy crowd.
Yeah, I
So
see
I
that.
feel like it's just like if someone's doing it for years, say like 5, 10 years, and they jump on a gong show, I think it might take the glam lights from a more amateur comedian.
Yeah, I hear that. I guess it depends how many gong shows there are, because if there are quite a few, then I guess it doesn't matter. But if it's quite saturated, then yeah, give it to the people who need it.
Yeah, 1,000,000%. I mean, go on this then. What's the worst thing you've ever seen someone do on stage?
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I I just had people laugh at their own jokes, which is like fine if it's like a crowd thing where it's like, I don't know, they're bantering with the crowd and something funny happens.
Yeah,
But when it's like they're laughing at their own joke that they know they're going to deliver, it's like, isn't that comedy 101? Like, you don't laugh at your own jokes, you wait for the audience to laugh.
yeah, yeah. I get it, but like, have you not said anything profound at all? I've just done an episode on like the top 5 worst things people have told me. Like,
Oh, God.
and
I mean,
hang on.
I did once have a comedian say to me, because, like you say, I'm a bit risque. And afterwards, not even while he was on stage, he just said, "Oh, you'd make a killing on OnlyFans." And it's like, that's not something that you say to someone that you've met 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, oh, wait, wait, weren't even on stage,
No. Well, it might have been as he was coming off stage, and like
so he
he
could
just
run
shot
away as
me.
soon as he said it.
Yeah, basically, because I think I'd gone on only a couple of acts before him, so it was
Yeah,
still fresh in people's minds. But I think he wasn't intending it to be part of his set. It was almost like an intrusive thought had won, but it didn't go down well because I didn't laugh, and neither did anyone else who heard it.
that's the hard thing about when you try and be edgy. Like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and you look like a prick.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I can take a joke, but it was just weird because he didn't know me like that. Like, if one of my long-term friends had said it, I probably would have found that funny. But it's like
Yeah,
you're 20 years older than me, and I met you 10 minutes ago. Like, that's
my
weird,
man's
no?
got a type. My man's got a type. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Apparently.
yeah. What would your OnlyFans username be?
Oh God. I'm trying to think like a drag queen name. You know how they have really beautiful names? Something like Wheelie Sexy or something?
Dude, come on, that's a killer. Wheelie
No
sexy.
one else is allowed that. I'm gonna trademark it.
Okay, we are getting signed up tonight. That's really sexy. Like, it could also be Chinese. Oh, no, I'm not even gonna pretend to the
Oh
accent.
God.
But the episode I get cancelled. Fucking love it. So, go. What's been your best moment on stage?
Oh wow. I think it has to be this year. I was lucky enough to do Abnormally Funny People at Edinburgh as one of my spots.
Yeah,
So for anyone who doesn't know, that's run by Steve Best and Simon Minty,
yeah.
which was already amazing because they're brilliant people. But then the comics that I was sharing a bill with were Rialina, Lost Voice Guy, Juliet
Oh, he's Lost
Burton,
Voice guy. Fuck
Don
me. Yeah,
yeah, Don Biswas, Jake Donaldson. So these are all people that have done TV and
yeah,
they're at various levels of being good at the game. So to then just be able to share a bill with them and to have them give me good feedback at the end, like, oh, that was really good, or I really like that particular joke. It just gave me such a buzz because it was like, okay, I must be doing something right,
yeah,
because I think especially with the pity thing. I do get a bit of imposter syndrome. Like, are they laughing because I'm genuinely good, or are they laughing because I'm in a chair? So to
yeah.
actually have that affirmed was quite nice.
I guess also it'd be like, say, like when I watched you, I was like, dude, that was funny. I liked this bit. I like this bit. Like, if they compliment you with context,
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just, oh, that was good. I'm like, what bit? So
yeah,
it's like when they can actually specify, I'm like, oh, they mean it.
yeah. Is that? And I think that's the best because I was saying like when I saw you, like I thought you was absolutely brilliant, and
Ah,
I
thank
think I
you.
think you can hopefully see by now I'm not the type of guy who's going to sugarcoat something.
Absolutely not. And I think
But,
that's one of the best things you can do. I'm very grateful for my parents in that regard because when I told them I was going to try comedy, I could kind of see them thinking, "Oh shit, like how is this going to go?" And actually when they did finally see my first video and then when they came to see me live, they actually were like, "It's pretty decent." And I'm grateful for that because if I was shit, they'd tell me.
oh well, that's good. Were they there? Were they there at in Essex?
So my dad was because he does all the traveling with me,
Yeah.
but my mum stays at home because my brother's autistic. So we
Right.
kind of joke that I've got the physical disabilities and he's got the mental stuff. So we're kind of a two for one deal.
I'm trying to see who won the bet. I think your dad got the best draw in that one. Did he gets to do night
Well,
out, see
absolutely, but
comedy.
my mum is a bit of a homebody, so she saw
Right.
it as a vacation for herself. She was like, "Cool, I
Get
don't
him
have to
out.
deal with you. You
Yeah.
get out the house, and then I can have takeaway and watch TV all day." So it worked out.
It bangs. I mean, I did it after 2.5 years. I don't even know how it'd be different, but I'm just curious. Like doing crowd work, is it any different? Like, have you been heckled?
So this is the thing. It kind of goes back to the pity thing. I've not really been heckled. I've had some weird replies. So, I had one. So sometimes I get the audience to kind of ask or no, I ask the audience what they think my disability is.
Yeah,
And I had one very drunk guy say sexual allure. And so that was a very funny situation where I could play off that. So I've had weird things said to me, but not exactly a heckle. And I think it's again a bit of pity of like, oh, I don't want to fuck up the disabled ones kind of flow. I'd say in terms of my 2.5 years, I'm getting more confident talking
yeah,
to the audience because when I first started, it was very kind of scripted, regimented. I knew
yeah,
exactly what was coming next. Whereas now, I still know the flow of my routines, but I'm able to have a bit of fun. And if I go off on a tangent, then I can pull it back.
yeah. Okay, okay. I promise you, next time I'm gigging with you, I will heckle you, Gab.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, let's
Okay.
do it. Let
So
let
you'll have
I'll
live
lose my
ammunition.
heckler virginity. How
You
about
lose
that?
your heckling V card. I don't know. I don't know why this joke would kill. I'm not, it's not like you pretend to go for your bag and the WD-40 drops out.
Yep, that's good.
I know. I'll be a ghostwriter for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can send me all the fat jokes about me. That's fine.
No, never, never.
Would you ever do a roast battle?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I have a really good friend, Adam Dorr, who's an up and coming comedian
Oh, Adam Dole. I've had
himself.
him on.
Oh, brilliant.
He's
Cool.
got proper like frizzy hair.
Yeah, that's the one. And
Canterbury.
he yeah,
Oh man, I like Adam. Yeah, he's a good lad.
so we went to the same comedy society again. So that's how we met. But
Yeah.
again, he thinks a race battle would be hilarious just because again, I do
Roast battle,
have
not
kind of
race
that
battle, Gab.
roast.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not race
absolutely
battle,
roast.
okay? You know,
No,
calm your intentions a little bit.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, because I think I have that kind of innocent but a bit sassy persona, which I think would
Yeah.
really suit a roast battle.
Yeah, a bit. Oh, I'm gonna. There's a okay. One you got to take a look at him, Samuel Jean.
Yes, I gigged with him at the
Have
Edinburgh
you?
Fringe.
Can't.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did disabled can'ts.
yeah. Say what?
Disabled can'ts.
I can't get over that. He's in a chair, isn't he? He does roast
Yeah,
battles up north.
yeah, he's brill.
Yeah,
Obviously that's the other good thing about Edinburgh is you meet people that aren't on your local scene because obviously
yeah,
he's northern, whereas I'm very much south. So it was really cool to meet other people and see what they're doing.
yeah. Oh, a million percent. And like, I mean, I personally, I think comedy up north's got it absolutely spot on. Like in London, I think there's certain things you can't joke about. Like people get more sensitive on topics. I think Essex is good for it.
Yeah,
Like that's what I love. And also, I always try and give credit where credit's due. I'd always give Ben a shout out at Ginger Giggle because
yeah.
he gives comedians a chance to go up and do tens and fifteens.
Which is rare. Like I was really impressed because as I say, I use GigGag to try and scout out new gigs, and I'm at the point where if they're accessible, I'd do 2 minutes. Do you know what I mean? I'm not looking for very much. So when I stumbled across Ben's gig and he was like, "Yeah, you can do 10," I was like, "Really? That
Yeah,
that's awesome."
it's bad, isn't it? But that is what's so good about it. I mean, like, what's the longest you reckon you could do on stage?
So I'm doing my first 15 minutes at the end of October with Disabled Can'ts again.
Say what?
Disabled Can'ts. So Benny is just fabulous at giving disabled people a platform, and he's seen me grow and grow across each of the fringes because I've been lucky enough to gig with
Not height
them pretty
wise.
much. I wish I'm only 4'10", but he's just allowed me that progression. So I think I started with 5 minutes, went up to 7, then did 10, and he was like, "I think you're ready for 15." So I think in terms of the material I've written, I probably have about 20 minutes worth, but consistently I'm still only performing 10s. So it's really exciting to get the opportunity to do longer.
Okay. I'm starting my own nights next year.
Wow, brilliant.
I am. It's two escalators, three lifts, and and then a bungee jump to get to the stage. Then I'm starting them sitting down stand up nights, but the terms are you have to have been on an episode.
Okay, nice.
Because like say like you roll up, thank you. It'd always be like, look, so I'd compare it by like, look, Gabby was episode 125. So they can watch your stand up and then then they can watch the episode and be like, oh, okay, get
Nice.
to know the comedian a little bit more.
And I think that's the nice thing. I mean, I'm a very story-driven comic anyway,
Yeah.
and I wear my heart on my sleeve, because I know some comedians tend to kind of exaggerate or bend the truth a little bit, and that can be very funny. But I'm totally like everything I say on stage is pretty much true.
Got to
So
dilute
I
it
feel
down.
like yeah, so I feel like being able to see behind the lens a little bit in something like this is amazing, and I wish that there were more podcasts out there because I know that there are the famous ones like the one where they workshop a joke. The name escapes me now, but
Yeah.
that there are a couple, but there aren't many, and I feel like it's the beauty behind the art of the person on stage.
1,000,000%. And like I've said this a couple of times on the pod, the reason why I started this, because when I was getting into comedy, I did the standard, the YouTube, and how to become a comedian, all that crap. And I was getting advice and stuff from people who have already made it. But do you know what I mean? Like, and the other pods, do not get me wrong, they're doing amazing jobs, but they've already made it. I want to hear from people who are in the trenches, the people who are going through it. Do you know what I mean? The unknown heroes right now, who are tomorrow's famous comedians.
People who are driving 2 hours to do 5 minutes and then finding out it's not accessible. Those are the
Yeah,
trenches.
yeah. That must piss you off.
I mean, thankfully, it's not happened too many times because I do check rigorously, like to make sure that I'm not wasting my energy because I do have fatigue as well. So I have to be really careful. If I'm going to a gig, I want to
Yeah,
make sure I can actually do it. But the amount of times I'll like G myself up for a gig and I'll like email them just to say, just making sure. And they're like, oh, yeah, there's one step. And it's like, well, when exactly were you going to tell me that? Because I was going to
yeah.
drive an hour and a half to get there.
Oh, yeah, that pissed me off majorly. What I've got to ask, like, because I was being a storyteller, being a storyteller, like, how do you find like the social media side of being a comedian?
Oh, it's something I'm trying to develop because I feel like I do have a social media following, and as I say, I try and kind of plug it purely for the pun. But it's something that I find really hard. So I'm trying to make clips of my sets, but it's like that's where the money is. Like I almost don't want to give that away, and it's also quite difficult because I know some comedians they'll turn to sketches or things like that
Yeah,
instead, but because also my cerebral palsy affects my hands, like when I perform I can't hold a microphone. It's very difficult actually for me to film something because
yeah.
some people they take it so far with wigs and costumes and all the rest of it. I couldn't do any of that
That'd be a
without
full
help.
time
And
job for you just to do like,
yeah, exactly. And it's like I do also work and I do have energy limits and pain limits. So
yeah,
I'd really have to trust in myself that it was a good idea. Like if I have an idea, I'm like, okay, is it worth me wasting the energy on it? So I'm
yeah,
building up and I'm making more clips because I've got a lot of videos of my stand up and various audience interactions, but it's very hard to know what people want as well.
yeah. Oh, I was saying I hate social media with a passion because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how things blow up and all that, and it just infuriates me because I like to consider myself an intellect. I know I'm not, but I like to consider myself one, and I just don't understand it. I don't understand. Oh, I literally said this in the last episode how like a 12-year-old girl would go 20 million likes. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hashtags, the formula. I understand consistency. That's the bit I
Yeah.
understand. The rest I don't. But also being like, luckily the pods, like if you go on my own personal Instagram, I mean I've got about I think 4,000 followers and I only follow 30 people, but I've got 5 pictures on there. I hate it,
Yeah.
but this is easy because I've got a formula for it.
Yeah.
Like put a picture up every day of who I've had on and put a short up.
Yeah. It makes sense.
It writes itself. But because the thing I struggled like with doing my stand up and putting reels of that is that people don't have the attention span. Like
And
If
I
you're
feel
sick,
like
fine.
people like feeling like they've seen the whole gig as well. So it's like if you post a short, they're like, okay, yeah, that was a funny clip, but where's the rest of it? And it's like, unless they then want to go through and watch the other clips that you posted, it's not going to satisfy them. They almost want like a special length, and it's like, well, you're not going to get that on one clip because you have to go and see them live.
100%. And I know a lot of comedians say that when they put it up and out on Instagram is when they retire the joke.
Yeah.
So I guess there's the struggle sort of on that. But I don't get social media. I wish I did. I don't. So, we went down the road, but I'll ask it as a formal question.
Go on.
Gabby, can you joke about anything?
I think if you're part of the community that you're joking about, yes. I think if you're not, you have to be very careful what you're joking about. If it's a general observation that isn't going to harm anyone, sure. But if you think there's a risk someone could be offended, you have to be really careful. And I'm also saying that because my current job is I work in EDI. So again, for me, I'm very much about diversity and inclusion. And,
Yeah.
probably everyone else would describe me as woke. If I'm woke, I kind of wear that as a badge of honor. Like it doesn't really bother me because I just see woke as being a decent human being that doesn't really care what anyone's circumstances like. But I guess the way I would describe it is like, so I make a lot of jokes about being disabled, and obviously I joke about having CP. I can joke about my brother's autism, and I can joke about the disabled community in general and talk about disabled people being pricks and stuff like that. But I would never make a specific joke about being blind or being deaf because it's not something I don't have that experience. So in the same way, if someone is gay, they can joke about being gay and they can joke about the gay community, but can they joke about being trans? Because they don't have that experience.
I mean, I'm on the different opinion that I think funny is funny. If you want to say something, you have the right to say it, but the audience have the right to call you a prick.
Yeah, but I guess that's the thing, because I agree with you, funny is funny, but do you know if it's funny until it comes out of your mouth, at which point you can't take it back?
No, of course, and I think that's how you learn the hard way. Like, the beautiful thing about comedy, and the thing I love is that comedy is subjective. One man's terrorist, another man's freedom fighter. I don't think there is truly a wrong or right answer, and I think everyone just sort of you've got to stand and die by the morals you believe in.
Absolutely. And it was really interesting for me because one of the fringes I went to in Edinburgh, I saw Frankie Boyle with my dad because my dad is very into like dark and alternative humor. I think a lot of people call my humor dark for similar reasons because I'm kind of touching on disability and like
Yeah,
ooh, can she say that? But I think there's levels of dark. Like there's no way I'm as dark as Frankie Boyle. And I enjoyed the show and there were jokes that I did absolutely laugh at, but
yeah,
there were some jokes where my dad was absolutely laughing and I was just thinking that's too far. And that is the point that you're trying to make about funny for someone isn't necessarily going to be funny for someone else, and there's no reason why we should almost gatekeep that as long as it's actually not
beautiful,
causing harm.
beautiful
you
crypt
know,
scream.
because there are jokes that cause harm and they cause hate to go to other people. I always I think it was Ricky Gervais did a really harmful joke about disabled people, and that kind of stuck around in the ether for a bit before it disappeared. And I was like, that's an irresponsible joke because that actually has a lasting impact.
Yeah. See how how the way I want to challenge this is going on Matt Rife.
Ooh,
You know Matt Rife?
okay. Yes, I know of him. Which bit are you referring to?
His crowd work with disabled people in the crowd.
Hmm. Because I've seen a couple, but it seems like the disabled person is genuinely laughing.
That's
At
my
which
point.
point
He
I
brings the
feel like
heart of the
that's
humour.
okay.
Yeah, he doesn't make them. He doesn't do it in a dark way. He does it in a silly way.
Yeah, and I think that's the best way you can test like is my joke okay or not is if the person or the demographic concerned is laughing. So a bit like when you checked with me about the whole giving birth thing to the chair. I pissed myself laughing. So straight away you knew you had the green card for that one. Whereas
Yeah,
if I like paused or if I was like, yeah, that's probably not wise,
yeah,
then you could still do it, but I've already warned you that I don't think it will go down well.
yeah. You did a vibe check almost.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. What's the vibe? And I think it also depends on the crowd because the types of crowd that Frankie Boyle gets, they know what they're getting into. Whereas if you're doing an open mic, chances are they're not going to be a Frankie Boyle type crowd. So you have to be
no.
really careful thinking, is this going to land?
Okay, how would you feel though? Like the wheelchair joke I made. You laughed, but someone in the audience got offended on your behalf.
That I really don't like because that to me is patronizing and that's just as bad
Yeah.
as an offensive joke because it's still taking the dignity away from me. So the
Oh, I
the
feel that.
best
Yeah, I get
example
that. Yeah.
so the best example I can think of is I was an audience member for a gig. It was at my uni. It was a great gig, and we had the lovely Alistair Barry, who I know has done your show as
Oh,
well.
I love
And
that.
he did a joke about his wife's cancer, and the audience kind of went, "Oh, you know that noise they do when they're outraged," and it was like. And he actually used me. He pointed at me and went, "Look, she's disabled and she's laughing, so all of you can laugh." And it just made the whole situation 10 times better because it was
Yeah.
like, yes, that's an objectively funny joke, and people need to stop clenching.
What was his joke? Because he's as bald gets.
I cannot remember, and I'm very annoyed because it was very funny. It was something along the
I know he
lines
does.
of,
I know he does. He goes to the uni you went to quite. I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but I'll just play safeguard on that. He goes there a lot, doesn't he? Is he an
yeah,
alumni?
he does because they have a comedy club there that quite often gets pro comedians because that was kind of also what I did. So that night has a student. So they have two pros, and then just before they go to the interval, they have a couple of students do about
Shit
four or
sandwich.
five
The
minutes.
shit
Yeah,
sandwich.
which is really nice. So I did that a couple of times. But yeah, I think his joke was something along the lines of like the benefits of his wife having cancer, like the silver linings almost. And they were like, "Ooh, can you really say that?" And it's like, yeah,
Yeah, I 100%. But then he is a master at the game. I think he's the ultimate circuit comedian. He might not be a household name everywhere, and it's shocking, but he's perfected the craft.
absolutely, and I think they're the comedians I like the best because they know when to turn up the controversy and when to turn it down. And I think that's something I'm trying to hone myself. So again, I mean, you've seen me perform and you'll see there are some jokes where I'm very much, on the nose and trying to kind of push the boat out a little bit. And then I have tamer, more silly jokes where I'm trying to rein it back in, almost so that there's a bit of peak and trough
Like
because
a
I
roller
don't want
coaster.
people. Yeah, exactly. Because I don't want people to just think, "Oh, that was tame." But at the same time, I'm not there to shock people. Like, as much as I like teaching people, that's not my thing. I just want to make them laugh. It shouldn't constantly be that ooh noise. It should be laughter.
Yeah, I mean, did you find your voice relatively early, or did it take like a couple of gigs to find what you wanted to like, what persona you wanted on stage?
I think it took a couple because it was mostly seeing how I interacted on stage. Because as I say, when I
How we
started, it
got to
was
the
first.
stage?
Well, yeah, exactly. So it was like, when I first started, I was in a seminar room in my uni, so it very much wasn't the comedy environment. So
No,
I
yeah,
was
no,
I was
highest ceilings possible, the
I
worst
know.
acoustics, like Barry's on lighting, and just like a fucked up microphone. Perfection, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
We didn't even have microphones. You know what we did? We would scrunch up a roll of paper towel and hold that.
Brilliant, brilliant. Oh,
There you go. So
I
so I
mean
mean it did
that 9 grand a year, Gavin. It's got to go somewhere, hasn't it? Like,
beautiful. It wasn't on accommodation, it wasn't on food, so I don't know where it went. But yeah, it took a while. And then I think once I'd done a couple of proper gigs or at least open mic gigs, then I really figured out kind of where to pause, what words to emphasize, things like that. That stuff you can't really get until you do a gig because I wrote the material and I'd had it floating around in my head for years. But until you actually say it to an audience, you don't know if it's funny or not, and you don't know how it's going to come out.
No, true. And also, open mics can be bad for that also, because when
Yeah,
it's just a room of seven other comedians, you're not getting true feedback,
yeah.
which can be hard. Also, maybe like in the Canterbury bit as well, in front of your peers. That's why once again I'll shout out Ben at Ginger Giggle. Like he brings the crowds and he gets you know more amateur comedians and he does give them time and he's in front of a real audience.
Absolutely. And I think as well, I'm kind of in this weird situation because there aren't that many accessible gigs. I will go to any gigs. There's kind of not a point where I can kind of say, nah, that's a shit one. I mean, thankfully, there haven't been that many, to be honest with you. All
Yet,
of the ones I've been yet, exactly.
yet,
So there haven't been that many where I thought, oh, I don't want to do that one again. But I don't have a lot of choice. Whereas a lot of my comedian friends, they will say to other comedians, "Oh yeah, don't do that one because they never get a good crowd." And it's like, well, if it's accessible, then I might not have a choice.
yeah, yeah. I hate the term beggars can't be choosers. I hate that term so much. But I'm trying to think of a like a relative. Like you get what you can get because of the unfortunate lack of available rooms out there.
Yeah, and I mean, in some ways, it makes my life very easy because I'm like, okay, do I do it or do I not? Like, it's a very black and white decision.
But it does
But
limit also, which is shit.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I haven't got the answer for that one, dude. I wish I did. All I know is that when I put a night on, I'll make sure I've got a really bloody good ramp
hey.
or flat surface. To be
Well,
honest,
I do work in EDI, so if anyone is running a night and they're like, okay, how do I make this accessible? Then I can also advise because I've got the lived experience, obviously for myself, but obviously part of my job is to make sure my workplace is inclusive. So I feel like I've got a bit of skin in the game there. So, I don't charge yet because, I'm 21 and I'm in my first job, but
yeah.
as part of that disability he website, maybe I can advertise some freelance
What was it called
services as
again?
well.
Wheatley
Disability he
Disability He. And what was the only what was the only fans going to be?
really sexy.
Really sexy. I fucking love that. That I'm gonna fucking take that straight away. Love
I
that.
bet somebody's gonna download OnlyFans right now and do that. As long as they don't make an edit of me, that's fine.
Yeah, AI Gabby. Like,
Oh God, please no.
you never know. I got Gab. I'll end it with the one I always end it with. So someone comes up to you. I'm gonna do it from the perspective of in a wheelchair. Okay.
Hmm.
Someone rolls up to you in a wheelchair. Thank you. And they say, Gabby, look, I'm looking to get into comedy. Can you give me some advice? And you can't say just do it.
I would say make sure you have some material. And by that, I don't mean, yeah, I make my mates laugh down at the pub. I mean, actually think, okay, if I'm going on stage tomorrow, what would I say? Because as I say, I did my first gig in the January, but I joined that society in the September, and I'd had thoughts rolling around in my head for a while. So
Oh,
exactly. So by the time I went on stage, I had an idea of how this was going to flow, and it doesn't have to be polished, but you've got to make
don't be
sure you know
rusty.
what you're doing when you're up there. Exactly.
Dude, completely agree. Completely like go watch comedy. Like, do you know what I mean? Get the ideas in your head. Just because you're funny in the pub doesn't mean you're going to be funny on stage.
Some people are just good for pub laughs, and that's a beautiful thing. But pub laughs and comedy laughs are completely different. And it's a real talent to be able to do both. Like I feel like the comedians who do that are people like Russell Howard and people like that, where they can just turn an empty room into something funny.
And just
But
tear
it's
shit up.
very rare.
Yeah. Are there like any like forums or anything like that? Like people can join and stuff?
So there's a lot of Facebook groups. So that's kind of where I tended to branch out and find my gigs once I'd kind of established that this was something I wanted to do. There's a really great WhatsApp group for women in comedy that I've joined called Gobby Girls,
Yeah.
which is really important because again, they can tell you which men are dodgy because that's also
Yeah, I
a
don't.
thing in this industry.
Because of the pod, I'm in the women's Facebook forum.
There you go.
A
So
fly on the
so
wall, and it is shocking. It is
I
shocking.
know.
It's not. I always say it's not the men who are pricks. It's the ones who act chivalrous. They're the ones who
Oh,
have the hidden agenda. I'm always saying, you're better off with someone like me who is a dickhead to your face.
at
Do you
least
know
you know
what I
what
mean?
you're getting.
Because you know exactly what you're getting. But I'm like, oh no, I'll drive you. I'll drive you. You can get in my car to that gig. Oh, there's like, no, that's us. You've got an
And
agenda.
you wouldn't believe the amount of people that do it more to the nth degree because I'm in a chair. It's like, oh, do you want a push? And it's like, mate, this is an electric chair. You're not pushing me anywhere.
And it's downhill. It's in the basement. It's just one solid push, to be honest. Yeah.
Launch me into the wall.
It's like Ace Spencer with a slinky going down there. Oh, I fucking love that. Gab, you know I love you to bits. You're a great comedian. Loved watching you live. I'm so glad we finally got to do this, dude.
Oh, thank you, mate. It's been a joy. I can't wait to see all of the other episodes because, exactly like you said, watch comedy, listen to comedy, just soak it all up. It's the best way, especially when there's so many new people coming up and doing amazing things. And I'm not including myself in that. I'm including everyone else because they're
Uh,
brilliant.
I'll chuck you in that as well, Gabby. You've got such a different voice from the others, and yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, dude. And yeah, you can check out Gab's OnlyFans coming live in November. So
Absolutely not. But you can follow me on Instagram at Cerebral Rosie.
you'll be tagged in all of it, dude. It'll be at the bottom just for him to do.
Brilliant. But
But
no searching for wheelie sexy. Cerebral Rosie only.
guys, thanks ever so much for watching, and cheers, Gab. See you on the scene.
See you around.
Bye.